It begins with that familiar, dangerous silence, the kind that settles just before something seismic breaks through. One moment, Blue Jays fans thought they knew the plan. The next, the ground shifted beneath their feet. Welcome back to the Blue Jays Report. And before we go any further, remember we're pushing hard for 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy this content, like the video, share it with a fellow fan, and hit that subscribe button now, because this story is only just unfolding. While much of the baseball world had its eyes glued to the idea of Chris Bassitt returning to Toronto, the front office was playing a far more subtle game. Bassitt is gone, slipping into the division with Baltimore, and that alone felt like a gut punch. A trusted veteran, a calming voice, suddenly lining up to face his old club. But as that door closed, another creaked open, somewhere darker and far more intriguing, and at the center of it stands Max Scherzer. The last 48 hours have felt like a storm tearing through Blue Jays land. Injuries, uncertainty, and now the loss of Bassitt have exposed cracks that were previously hidden behind optimism. Yet in moments like this, organizations reveal who they really are. According to well-connected insiders, Ross Atkins and his staff are not panicking. They're plotting. And the idea of bringing back Scherzer isn't nostalgia or sentimentality, it's strategy sharpened to a blade. On paper, Scherzer raises questions immediately. He's in his 40s, his body has endured more battles than most pitching arms ever survive, and the injury history looms like a warning sign. But baseball isn't played on paper, and it certainly isn't won by spreadsheets alone. Scherzer brings something far rarer than velocity or spin rate. He brings gravity, a presence that alters rooms the moment he walks into them. Look at the current rotation and you'll see both promise and fragility staring back. There is frontline talent, dependable veterans, and younger arms still learning how unforgiving this level can be. There are innings to protect, workloads to manage, and a season that will demand answers when plans inevitably fall apart. In that environment, Scherzer isn't just another starter. He's a stabilizer, a sounding board, and when required, a lifeline. It's easy to forget just how recently Scherzer stood on the biggest stage imaginable. This is a pitcher who started a World Series Game 7 not long ago, trusted when everything was on the line. That kind of trust isn't granted lightly. It's earned through years of preparation, resilience, and an almost obsessive understanding of what it takes to win. Even if his role is limited, even if his starts are carefully rationed, the ripple effect of his presence could be enormous. The Blue Jays right now need insurance more than they need headlines. Depth that once looked comfortable has evaporated with alarming speed. Arms that were meant to cushion the rotation are suddenly unavailable, and the margin for error has thinned dramatically. This is precisely when experience becomes priceless. Scherzer can start games, absorb innings, or steady things from the bullpen when chaos hits. More importantly, he can teach younger pitchers how to survive when their best stuff abandons them. What makes this situation even more compelling is timing. Scherzer isn't rushing. He doesn't need to chase contracts or validation. He's looking for fit, for purpose, for a place where the final chapter of his career means something. Toronto can offer that. Meaningful games in a brutal division, a roster built to compete, and an organization that values leadership as much as performance. Behind the scenes, quieter moves hint at the same philosophy. Depth signings, arbitration decisions, and role adjustments all point to a front office preparing for the long grind rather than the opening headline. Stretching certain arms, adding flexible pieces, and quietly reinforcing weak spots may not trend on social media, but they win games in August and September when bodies start to fail. There's also tension simmering beneath the surface. Questions around commitment, professionalism, and clubhouse chemistry haven't vanished, they've merely been postponed. How certain players respond to scrutiny, how they carry themselves when adversity strikes, will shape this season as much as any transaction. In moments like these, leaders matter. Not the loudest voices, but the ones who set standards by example. Then there's the future staring straight back at the present. Young arms, flashing potential, electric bullpen sessions, and carefully managed workloads all suggest something special could be forming. But talent without guidance can drift. Having a figure like Scherzer nearby, watching, advising, challenging, could accelerate development in ways no analytics department ever could. The American League East is sharpening its knives. Rivals have reinforced, rotations are deepening, and no one is waiting for Toronto to find its feet. Standing still is not an option. Every decision now carries weight, and every calculated risk could define the season's direction. So this is the crossroads. The Blue Jays can hope their current depth holds together, or they can act decisively, embracing experience to stabilize uncertainty. All signs are suggesting they're leaning towards action. The whispers are growing louder, the logic increasingly difficult to ignore. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like the video and share it with fellow fans. And don't forget to subscribe to the Blue Jays Report, because spring training is only the opening act. Do you believe bringing back Max Scherzer is the right move, or should the Blue Jays trust what they already have? Drop your thoughts in the comments. One thing is certain, in Toronto, something is coming, and it won't arrive quietly.